Hi guys, so today we're going to be looking at some linear simultaneous equations. So a linear simultaneous equation is something that looks like this. So the first way to do it is elimination. So elimination is about, your first step is to eliminate x or y. So say you had an equation that was 4x plus 3y equals 6. And then again you had 4x plus 5 equals 9. The way you'd start this one, the first step would be to take away 4 from 4 to eliminate that x, because that means then you only have y and you can solve that equation. So here you'd get 4 minus 4 equals 0x plus 3y minus 5y equals minus 2y, and then 6 minus 9 equals minus 3. So then that means you've got minus 2y. So now we're on to the solve. So now you solve, which is step 2. You solve this equation here. So minus 2y equals minus 3. So that means 2y equals 3. So y equals 3 over 2, which is the same as 1.5. Now your last step of the method, so step 3. So if this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. Your third step is to sub this y value back into the equation, any one of these equations at the start. So I'm going to sub it into the top one. So you've got 4x plus 3 times 1.5 equals 6. So that means 4x plus 4.5 equals 6. So 4x equals 6 minus 4.5. So 4x equals 1.5. So x therefore equals 1.5 over 4. So that's the first method, and that is called elimination. Second method is substitution. So this substitution will come in handy when you do quadratic simultaneous equations as well. This one goes, so say you had again 5x plus 3y equals 7, and then a really easy one would be x plus 2y equals 5. So you'd rearrange for x or y. So obviously here, it can do it on either equation, but this equation is easier to rearrange for x, because you just do x equals 5 minus 2y. So that is the definition for x. So then you can sub this into here. So the first step was getting that equation and writing x as the subject. Now the second step is subbing that x value or x definition back into the other equation. So now we've got 5 minus 2y plus 3y equals 7. See what we've done there? We've got rid of the x and we only have y, so we can solve that. So if we now solve that, we've got 25 minus 10y plus 3y equals 7. So obviously that 25, so we're going to bring the 7 over here, I would, and all the y's over there. So that is going to be minus 7y here. So equals, but if we bring it over, that 7y equals 25 minus 7, 18. So y equals 18 over 7. Now you sub in that y value back into either one of these equations. So x plus 2 times 18 over 7 equals 5. So then x plus 36 over 7 equals 5. So x equals 36 over 7, 5 minus 36 over 7. So that would be your answer. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to work it out right now, but that is how you'd get the answer. So this first one, we've got two equations here. You can pause the video now if you want to have a go. I'm going to show both methods to start with. So my first method I'm going to do is elimination. So step 1 is to eliminate x or y. So we want to get rid of x or y. So here the easiest one to do is get rid of y, because there's only one y on both. So we've got y and y. So if we draw a line under that and do minus. We're going to have 3x minus 2x equals x. Y minus y equals no y's. So x equals 11 minus 8 equals 3. Okay, so we've actually skipped step 2, which is solve, because this wasn't complicated enough to need any solving of that equation, because we just got x equals 3. So we're going to move straight on to step 3, which is sub in. So we're going to do 3 times 3 plus y equals 11. So 11 minus 9 equals 2. So y equals 2. So x equals 3, y equals 2. So now we're going to go to the substitution method. Substitution method, we need to rewrite. So first one is rewrite. So rewrite this, any of these equations, but I'm going to go for the top one. 11, and we want to make x or y the subject. It's easier to make y the subject, so y equals 11 minus 3x. So now the second step is to sub in the y, so sub y into the, make sure it's the other equation, so we've got to sub it into this equation, this bottom one. So we're going to do 2x plus 11 minus 3x equals 8. So we've got 2x minus 3x, which is minus x. Then the 11 goes over there, equals minus 3. So x equals 3. Now we just sub in our value for y. So sub x value. So 2 times 3 plus y equals 8. So y equals 8 minus 6, which is 2. So here we're going to use elimination for this one. So step 1 is to eliminate x or y. Now this one's a bit different because we don't have, so the x's don't have the same number and the y's don't have the same number. So we're going to have to multiply these equations so that one of the x or the y are the same number, and we can get rid of the x or the y. So you can either do find a common multiple for the 3 and the 4, or the 5 and the 2. So I'm going to do the 5 and the 2. So let's write out 5, 10, 15, 20. Now let's do the 2's. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so we've got 10 on both sides. So how many times did we multiply the 5 to get 10? Well, that was times by 2. How many times did we multiply the 2 to get 10? Don't worry that it's a minus. Well, we times that by 5. So let's times the top equation, the whole equation, by 2. So that means we're going to have 6x plus 10y equals 38. And then we're going to have the bottom equation, we've got to times that by 5. So 20x minus 4y is the same as minus 30. Oh, we've times it by 5. So that will be, 10y. And this will be minus 90. So 6x, so here, because we've got 10 and a minus 10, so 10 plus minus 10 equals 0. So we want to add them, we don't want to take them away, we want to add them to get rid of the y's there. So 20 plus 6 equals 26x, 10 plus minus 10 equals 0y, and then 38 minus 90 is the same as minus 42, so that means x equals minus 2. So here, this was step 1, which was eliminate x or y. Step 2 is solve. Now we're on step 3, which is sub back in that x. So we're going to sub in the x value to either of the equations. I'm going to choose the top one. 3 times minus 2 plus 5y equals 19. 5y is the same as 19. We've got plus 6 there because it's a minus. Change sides, change signs. So we're going to have 25. So that means y equals 5. So there are two solutions. You can do the substitution method and see if you get the same x and y as me. Now we've got a third practice. So for this one, I'm going to use substitution. So we're going to have to rearrange one of these for y. Now it might not be the best way to solve it by using substitution, but we're going to do it anyway in this case, just so I can show you the method. So I'm going to choose the bottom one to change into so the first step is to rewrite as y or x as the subject. I'm going to make y the subject. So we're going to have 3y equals 9 minus 4x. Y equals 9 minus 4x over 3. So y equals 3 minus 4 over 3x. So then the second step is to sub that y into one of the other equations. So, well, the only other equation. So we've got 6x plus, 6x minus 2 times 3 minus 4 over 3x is the same as 33. So we've got 6x minus 8, plus, because you've got minus 8 over 3x. And then we're also going to have minus 6, but that minus 6 is going to go on to the other side. So plus 6 equals 39. So if you do 6 plus 8 over 3 is, let me just do that on my calculator, 26 over 3. So 26 over 3x equals 39. So x equals 39 divided by that, which is 4.5. Now the third step is to sub in that value to any of those equations. So we're going to do 4 times 4.5 plus 3y equals 9. 4 times 4.5 is 18, so 3y equals 9 minus 18. So 3y equals minus 9, so y equals minus 3. So we've got those two now. Now this is a more word equation, so this would be a harder equation on your GCSE exam. This, we have 5, so let's call tins of soup T. So we have 5T equals 1750. And then we have another 4 tins of soup T, and let's call packets of soup P. So plus 3 packets of soup equals 1490. So we can literally sub in this value. So now we have got to do 5t equals 1750. So t equals 1750 divided by 5. So t here is the same as, put that 5 under there, equals 350. Okay, now sub in 4 times 350 plus 3p equals 1490. So 3p equals 1490 minus 1400, because that's what that is, equals 90. So packets of soup equals 30 grams. Now we want to work out 3 tins. What is 3t plus 2p? So that is 3 times 350 plus 2 times 30. So 3 times 350 is 1050 plus 2 times 30 equals question mark. So that just equals 1110. That is your answer there. I just want to quickly mention linear equations on graphs. So if you were to solve these with the methods we've just been doing, these two equations, they are linear equations. If you were to solve those and there was a solution, then the solution is the point where those two cross. So if you're given a graph and you're asked to show the solutions of these two equations, it is where the two graphs cross. So this graph is plotted here and this graph is plotted here. Now the equation where they meet is where they equal each other, where the same x and the same y values are. So that means you can just work the value off the graph. Now here's another one. But as you can see here, this graph is simply they're just multiples of each other. So if they're multiples of each other, that means they're the same line. So you can either have lines that intersect, which is what we saw before, these lines, they intersect at this point. You can have lines that are multiples of each other, which are these, because both of these graphs are actually this line. And then you can also, which I've missed out here, have lines that are parallel. Sorry, it's here. So lines that are parallel, and they will never cross either, so there'll be no solutions there. Please like and subscribe. I'll have new videos weekly, mostly on GCSE maths at the moment.